I'm starting to try this in a small town challenge where you do the first 3 lines out of his song in a small town, record the results, and see what happens. Let's do this. I tried this last night, y'all. It was impossible, but not for the reasons you think. And I'm going to describe my scenario to you now. So the first 3 lines of this song, the so-called things you have to do for this challenge, right? First one, you have to sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk. That's the first line of that song. First of all, I didn't know that was legal in the city, because the whole basis of this is that it's things that you can do in the city that you can't do in a small town. That's the whole point of the song. And the first thing they say is sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk. All right. Number 2, carjack an old lady at a red light. Once again, didn't know you could get away with this in town, in the city. Apparently you can. And then the third thing, which also just seems a little bit too far for me, is to pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. That's number 3. I don't know about y'all, but my experience in liquor stores, the owners of liquor stores are probably not the guys I would want to pull a gun on. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're inner city, Washington, D.C., New York City, San Antonio, Los Angeles, wherever, Omaha. I don't think you can get away with this. I also don't think you can get away with this small town, which is what the song says. So that part's probably right. So we're going to try these things, right? That's the goal. So last night I went out about 7 o'clock at night, and I'd parked downtown in the town that I live closest to. And I just started walking around the town. I walked for 2 hours on all the sidewalks. And I think I covered most of the sidewalks, and some of them like twice or 3 times. I saw the entire town in 2 hours. You know what I didn't see? I didn't see a single person on the sidewalks, because nobody comes out of their house to walk down sidewalks in a small town, except for the 1 or 2 joggers that I saw that were going the opposite direction of me. So you can't sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk. So that right there is out in my small town. So then we move on to number 2. Number 2, carjack an old lady at a red light. And I'm thinking this is going to be easy because we got so many old ladies in this town and they all drive really slow. So if one of them gets to the red light, I should be able to carjack her very easily. That's what I'm thinking. Till I realized my town does not have a red light. I could probably carjack one at a stop sign, but you can't really count it as a challenge if you don't do exactly what it says. So therefore, you can't carjack an old lady at the red light. That's number 2 that I can't do in my small town. So then we move on to number 3, which is the one I was concerned with from the start. And that's pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. Now, y'all, I was concerned with this one until I realized my town does not have a liquor store. So therefore, I can't do this one either. That's the first 3 lines of that song I can't do in my small town, mostly by default because they don't exist. But I'm not going to give up that easy, because I realized that Casey's, the gas station, they sell liquor behind the counter. So therefore, I'm going to call it a liquor store for the extent of this video. So I said before, I started around 7 o'clock. I walked for 2 hours, and when I was done, realized I can't sucker punch anybody because I can't find a single person out here. Number 2, I can't carjack an old lady at a red light because we don't have a red light. We do have a ton of old ladies, but no red light. And number 3, pull the gun on the owner of a liquor store. So I'm going to go to Casey's. And when I get to Casey's, I'd been walking for the 2 hours, as we said before. It's now 9:05. Casey's doors are locked up solid. You can't buy gas in my small town after 9 o'clock at night. That should have been a verse of the song right there. Try to buy some gas for your pickup. Try that in a small town. Like, you can't do it after 9 o'clock because all the stores, including the gas station, are closed at 9. There's one bar that stays open till like 11 or something, but that's it. Nonetheless, all I'm saying, y'all, these first 3 things doesn't really sound like something you can get away with in the city. It kind of sounds more like Impractical Jokers got really desperate for ideas. You can hear it, right? Like, you just got like, I don't know, Q's back behind the thing, and he's like, hey, Murr. Sucker punch that guy. He did it, right? And then it's like, Merg is done with that, and he's like, hey, steal that old lady's car at the red light. Do it. And then they steal the old lady's car. It's like, he did it, whoa! And they're all excited. And then the third one, like, all right, Mer, last one. If you get this, you Wednesday's show or whatever. And that one is pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. Maybe that was the punishment for the day. I don't know. You got to pull a gun on a liquor store, Murr. And Murr's out there. He's like, guys, this is a bad idea. He's like, just do it, man, do it. And he goes and he gets, Joe Gatto's gun. And he puts it in his pocket, and he walks into the liquor store and like, oh, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And then you hear like a loud bang sound, and then they're like, Murr? 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 Hey, Murr? 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 And then you realize Murr's dead. Probably. I don't know. So I didn't get any of these 3 things in the challenge done, but then the next line of the song, I'm like, if I can do that line, maybe I can just say I passed the rest of them, because that line is cuss out a cop. And I know we got cops in town. I saw one sitting down at the fairgrounds while I was walking around. So I drove down to the fairgrounds, pulled up beside the cop, wound my window down, got his attention, and just started cussing him out top to bottom. It didn't go very well. Now, I'm going to have to try this in the city to see if I can get away with it too. I normally leave my videos saying, y'all be good. So I'm just going to say y'all be good now, and then I'm going to end with something a little different. I'm going to show you the result of cussing out a cop. It's on the screen right now. Have a good one, y'all. Be good.